Hey guys, Tyler with Dynamite Design Lab here. Here is the Meowant SC-02 / UB Pet. I think it's still an SC-02 litter box that just came out. Yeah, one of the main differences between, besides the big opening, but the difference is that Meowant's done with this box is instead of going side to side for emptying out, this one rotates forward and backwards, and your waste bin is, back here. But this is going to be the installation video for the fine and coarse mesh screens for the sifter in the back there. So we've got a fine mesh and then a coarse mesh. Kind of show you guys the difference there. Fine mesh is usually really good with your fine sand, clay clumping type litters. I use Arm & Hammer slide, multi-cat, and it sifts through this pretty well. I know some people say like they have issues, like Dr. Elsie's, they have issues with this one, so it might be worth going to the coarse size mesh just to allow more of that, more of the litter to go through, and that's kind of the big issue is because you're adding additional grates and stuff onto the sifter there, that not all the litter can sift through it fast enough. So especially if you've got more of a coarse granule type litter, even if it's clay and clumping, it may not sift all the way through here, and then you'll end up with clean litter being dumped in the back here. So a lot of times people will upgrade to a coarse mesh. They're still gonna get a decent feature of getting most of the small clumps out. Obviously, if the clumps are smaller than these holes here, then they're gonna filter through them as well. But so either way, there's just like my other products, there's a fine mesh and a coarse mesh, and this is how we're gonna install them. I'm gonna show you two different ways, depending on your personal preference here and your comfort level. But there are two ways that these can be installed onto the litter box. So the first way is to actually remove the filter screen, the sifter screen in the back, take that out of the box, install the litter guard or the mesh guards, and then mesh screens, and then put the sifter back in with them installed. The second way is just putting them in, installing them as leaving the sifter in there. So for the first method here, to remove this, there's two pins on the sides here. To remove it, I usually just pull in the middle here, kind of get behind it, and then gently pull from one side to the other. Comes right out. It looks like they made those a little bit more bigger and easier to remove compared to the SC-01 version. Same pattern design as the SC-01, so this is kind of like their standard design that they keep going with. For installation, curved edge on the mesh screen goes with the curved edge here. Don't try to install it like this, because it's not going to work like that, because you can see this part will stick out and interfere with the box. So curved edge to curved edge, just like my other installation videos on the SC-01. I'll show this from behind, so if you flip it over, I'll kind of show you where this lines up. Partial hole here, first big hole, full hole on the top here, that will line up there, that lines up there, and then it snaps in like that. Okay, so then now you've got that one side in, and then same thing, I'll show it from this view too. Just kind of align it up, snap it in, and there you go. So keynote, it's not going to be flat, it's not it's not going to follow this curvature. The reason why is it is very this is made from mass production injection molding plastic, so you can kind of see some of the circles there. What they do is they create a die or a mold, and the two metal pieces clamp together, and then they have a plastic injector that comes in and it injects all the plastic material into this die in this mold in the shape that it wants. It goes throughout the whole mold, fills up. Once it's done, it cools down, they separate, and out pops this entire solid piece. In 3D printing, to create this kind of same curvature here, while yes, I can design it to be curved just like that, to print it, then it creates a complexity where I will need to add support material to support this curve because it won't be flat. So I will then have to add material here, which then means I have extra roughness surface here, and I got to trim away all this extra material that follows the curve and all that stuff. I wish I had a part available to show you guys here what I'm talking about, but it makes it a little bit more complex, keeps and the surface gets really rough, and sometimes the part fails completely. So I try to stick with flat designs. It's easy to print. They're very, they come out flat. They're quick and easy to print. I don't have to do with any trimming. I can just take them off and go. But anyways, sorry for the sidetrack there. So this is with them installed, and then to get them back in, like I said, you got the holes on the side here, so you'll find the one peg over here. Either side don't matter. Put one peg in, and then again, you'll take kind of your hand or whatever, you'll bend it a little bit, slide it into the other peg, and then there you go. So these may pop out a little bit when you're doing that because you are bending, you're bending it, so they may pop out. But there's the fine mesh screens installed, and then running through the whole cycle, it should capture any of the small ones there. So and then to remove it, kind of the same thing. You'll have to kind of finagle a way to to get back there. Easiest way to do it, just pull them off. It should be pretty simple to pull off like that. And then so for the second method, I'll show you guys with the core screens just so you can see how they look on each one. You don't have to remove the sifter. You simply just align the nubs up onto the sifter here and press them in. And likewise with this one. And then I usually bring it up like this just to make sure the bottom ones are flat. And there you go. So like I said, there's two ways of doing it. That's one way, and the other way is taking the actual screen out. Again, it's personal preference, whichever one you want to do, whichever one you feel comfortable with. And then of course for removal again, you could just simply grab them and take them off. Definitely let me know. I've done some trial testing and I haven't had any issues, but definitely let me know if if I need to adjust any of these thicknesses here, because I try not to make it too complex or too hard to install, because I don't want you guys breaking your screens, because I don't know if you can get them, and sometimes customer service is just slow or non-existent, so I try not to make it too tough, but at the same time I want to make sure they stick on there. So there shouldn't be any issues, but definitely let me know if you guys have any of those. So that's the installation video for the mesh screens for the Meowant UB-Pet SC-02. Like I said, you've got a fine mesh and a coarse mesh option available, both available on my shop, dynamitedesignlab.com, or Etsy, search for Dynamite Design Lab. And that's pretty much it. Future mods coming up. I did notice that I am currently in the design stages of I do have carpet feet adapters available on my store. However, I noticed on my SC-01, which also applies for the SC-02, that if you take these little rubber covers off, there's a hole here. So I'm currently in the prototyping stages of creating a carpet feet adapter similar to the ones I have already on my store, but there's this little peg here, and I'm going to allow it to be able to push this peg into here, and then that way if you ever need a carpet feet adapter for both the SC-01 or SC-02 model now, you should be able to install, like I said, this one's prototype, so I'm still trying to get the fitment right, but be able to install carpet feet adapters. Yes, you will have to remove these rubber covers. As I did here, I just stuck it onto the bottom of this in case I ever need to put it back on a hard surface. But I'm working on some carpet adapters on that, because hardest thing about carpet feet designing them is if I don't have a hole or some kind of mounting location for this, then you know, they just kind of fall off. You have to kind of manually position them on the ground and then put the box on. So anyway, stay tuned for that mod. That should be out here soon too, if you're interested for putting your Meowant SC-01 or SC-02 on the actual carpet instead of a hard surface. So let me know if you guys have any other questions or ideas for mods, and until next time, we'll see you guys later.